lyrically, I feel like I'm one of the ones. So it's kind of like stunting on the new guys for real. It's like not a shot at them, but it's like jabbing at them, like y'all gotta keep up.
My description of him is if Nas and Andre 3000 had a child, you would have Nick Grant.
If I had to describe Nick's relationship with music, I would say it's like second nature. It's like breathing first and then music second.
That's when I knew he was a star, because he always worked, he kept it all together. He just like was determined to make it happen for himself.
And I feel like he's the kind of artist that can go to the highest level, be it the Grammys, world tours, and also at the same time maintain his integrity to the culture of hip hop.
Who is Nick Grant? Nick Grant is just the boy next door from South Carolina that was raised by his grandmother on his mother's side and my grandfather on my father's side. My grandmother who stayed like in the projects where stuff became like very dangerous, and my grandfather who stayed in like a nice neighborhood. Just getting those two different sides of life and, you know, just balancing that and being taught to pull up your pants when you speak to people, look them in your eyes when you speak to people, firm handshake, just little things that can take you a long way. We're in Walterboro, South Carolina. This is my grandmother's home. I kind of use this place like to make me the person I am today as far as like my foundation. So it's like 3 buildings back down this hill. My friend lived in that building, and his studio was like in his living room. His mother would always like yell and curse, like turn it down, but you know, we always disobeyed because we felt like we was doing the right thing. And everybody else was like, you know, pretty much out here doing, you know, doing what 13-year-old, 14, 15-year-old kids do. We was just in the house trying to make music.
He wasn't Bad Nick anymore because he was rapping and stuff. So everybody on the school was like, oh, Nick can rap. Nick, somebody wrote that rap for you. And all the little kids on the bus like, oh, the older guys like, yo, he can rap, and like boosting him up every day to rap on the bus and after school.
Yeah, this is the place, like this living room is where the first time I ever saw Big Papa and was like, yo, I want to do this.
All you rap niggas running in place, nothing to say, you such a disgrace. I don't want it easy, baby, it's the
This is really what I want to do. I want to rap, I want to write rhymes, I want to, you know, get out of here. The last time I saw this place, unfortunately, was when we were evicted and moved to Atlanta.
The move from South Carolina to Atlanta for Nick was a good move for him because, you know, it's a better opportunity in Atlanta for music.
Me and Nick first met freshman year, 03, Booker T. Washington High School. We met in a science class. Nick used to carry around a notepad which he wrote his raps in. They seemed like they were pretty dope, so I asked him to rap for me one day. He rapped, he did a rap battle a couple days later in the cafeteria, and we just started hanging ever since.
So for me, it was all rap, rapping in school, battling, trying to be heard, skipping school, going to studios, selling drugs that didn't work out. It was whatever I had to do to get attention or get money, like I would do it.
When he was more focused on going to the studio or writing lyrics opposed to working, it was like, that's when I knew, like, I don't know of a teenager who would do without like a job just to, because we know that they have this dream and they're trying to accomplish it.
So I originally met Nick in 2011. He was signed to someone at the time. 3 years later, we ran into each other on Instagram. He says to me, hey, I'm out of that deal. You know, we met up, I heard his music, I thought he was dope, so, you know, his music progressed at that time to me.
Oddly enough, one of the funny stories that me and Jason Jeter tells all the time is that we met him differently, separately, but we both felt like he was the first artist for Culture Republic.
I never saw him perform, so that was always kind of just a question, and it was funny because like even other people around me would say, well damn, like, you know, he's real quiet, like, well, how's he on stage?
I'm a sight for blind eyes, ribbon in sky. Vision 2020, nobody gifted as I. Gotta take care of your people, my niggas sit and divide. Gotta be about the love and only spit when inspired.
You know, there's no greater feeling than that, especially when it's like a great crowd in a room full of people and you can feed off that energy. If I can give somebody that, a gift, it would be that.
My description of him is if Nas and Andre 3000 had a child, you would have Nick Grant. So it's great to have an artist with that much diversity.
I knew it was gonna happen, I just didn't know how long it would take. I'm just kind of like sad that my father couldn't see, you know, it happen.
Musically, I think Nick, he's constantly growing, you know. Even when we put the mixtape out, '88, the music was predominantly about a year old already, you know. So this project, Return to Cool, is really the difference of probably 2 years as an artist.
I use the term the cool to describe what I feel like hip hop should be based on present day, based on the people that I listened to when I was coming up. And I feel like I'm one of the few people that can keep up if we talking about really rapping and really making songs and really writing. So, you know, that's what the Return to Cool is about.
In 5 years, I think people will really, honestly, just be scratching the surface. I don't think he's nowhere near hit his rhythm or his peak.
He's one of those persons that had such a hard time. It was like God had to bless him with such a talent to be able to help other people who came through and went through what he went through.
He's not a seasonal artist. He's a career artist.
He always was telling me he wanted to be that MC. That's what me. I always wanted to see becoming that MC, you know, because he said, I want to be the best. If not the best, I want to be up there with the best.
As far as like the new generation of kings, I want to be in that conversation with the Kendricks and the J. Coles and the Wale's and Big Sean's and Drake's. And, you know, I felt like that top 5 hasn't been picked yet. So when you talk about today and, you know, 20 years, because they're going to know who Biggie and Pac are, but they're going to be more so looking at us because we're the most recent ones as far as like the kings and stuff. And I want people to look at me and say, yo, he's #1 of his time.